The Denver Broncos are slight favorites on Sunday afternoon as they host the Oakland Raiders in a key AFC West battle. Both teams come into this game at 2-1 and a game behind the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders played an awful game last week as they were routed 27-10 by the Washington Redskins, while the Broncos were not much better in a 16-26 road loss to the Buffalo Bills. Everyone is asking what happened to the Oakland offense last week. They could do nothing right against the Redskins as Derek Carr was under constant pressure and the running game was non-existent. The Raiders had been averaging 145 yards per game on the ground and they got just 32 yards against the Redskins. Carr was awful throwing the ball and his receivers were a disgrace as Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree combined for just 2 catches and 13 yards. The Raiders were pathetic 0-11 on third down. It didn't help that Carr was sacked 4 times and hurried 6. The defense was also very poor for the Raiders against Washington, as the Redskins moved up and down the field all night. When Khalil Mack is held in check, the defense simply isn't any good. Mario Edwards and Bruce Irvin are both overrated, and if Mack isn't superhuman, the Raiders have no pass rush at all. As bad as the defensive line was, the secondary was even worse. Kirk Cousins had a 150.7 quarterback rating in the rout of the Raiders. Perhaps it was just a one-game anomaly all the way around for the Raiders, and this week should tell. The Denver Broncos had trouble of their own last week, as they were dominated for much of the game by the Buffalo Bills. Quarterback Trevor Siemian looked like a backup quarterback against the Bills, as he threw 2 interceptions and focused almost entirely on forcing the ball to Emmanuel Sanders. The running game also sputtered, as C.J. Anderson was held in check. The Bills stuffed the run and forced Siemian to throw the ball, and that is going to be the game plan for a lot of teams going forward against Denver, because Siemian simply is not that good a quarterback yet. Denver's defense was solid against Buffalo, but not spectacular, and Von Miller was called for a big penalty that kept a key Bills drive alive. The Broncos are giving up just over 21 points per game this season. Taking a look at some NFL betting statistics, the Raiders are 2-8-1 against the spread in their last 11 games in this series. The Raiders are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games following a straight-up loss of more than 14 points, and the Raiders are 8-3 against the spread in their last 11 games versus the AFC. On the Broncos side, Denver is 8-3-2 against the spread in their last 13 home games. The Broncos are 16-7 against the spread in their last 23 games following a straight-up loss, and the Broncos are 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 games versus the AFC. Looking at some over-under numbers, the under is 4-1 in the Raiders' last 5 versus the AFC West, and the over is 5-1 in the Broncos' last 6 versus the AFC West. We know one of these teams is going to bounce back, and perhaps both of them will. The Raiders are definitely not as bad as they looked last week, and we expect a focus effort from them on Sunday. This game will probably be a one-possession game that goes down to the wire, and that makes the 3 points worth taking with the Oakland Raiders.